Hello students, today we are going to study about resistance welding and its types. Resistance welding is one of the fusion welding techniques which utilize heat and pressure to make welded joints. The schematic setup of a resistance welding apparatus is there are two electrodes. These are the pieces which are to be welded. The one of the electrodes is connected to positive terminal and second electrode is connected to negative terminal. Now when the current flows through it, the heat is generated at the intersection of these two pieces. The one of the important requirements of resistance welding is the two pieces should be metals. So when current flows in this direction, heat is generated here. This heat is not, the temperature does not reach the fusion temperature. इतनी ज़्यादा हीट नहीं होती है कि इन दोनों मेटल पीसेस को मेल्ट कर दे. हाँ, it brings them into plastic state. तो जब ये दोनों पीसेस इस एरिया में प्लास्टिक स्टेट में आ जाते हैं and then when the force is applied by these two electrodes, the weld is prepared, and when it cools down, a permanent joint between these two pieces is formed. Resistance welding is generally automatic. Now, whatever amount of heat is generated, that depends upon the current, I square, resistance of this setup, and then time, up to what time resistance flows through it. So, once the particular temperature is reached, circuit breaker breaks and the current flowing stops and this piece moves forward and second piece will come from this side. So that way resistance welding is automized. Now depending upon the type of welding, type of joint, resistance welding can be classified into 4 types: spot welding, butt welding, seam welding and projection welding. In spot welding, say for example, we have these two pieces which are to be joined, which are to be welded. These two pieces are to be welded. So welding is done, say welding is done at this point, say this point, and then some space is left, and then again it is done at this point, again some space is left, and then it is done at this point. So that way in spots welding is done. Now it is very useful, it is very popularly used in automobile industry. Automobile industry में इसका बहुत ज़्यादा यूज है. अगर आप एक कार को देखेंगे, सिंगल कार की बॉडी, तो उसमें करीब 10,000 इंडिविजुअल स्पॉट वेल्ड्स किए हुए होते हैं. Now क्योंकि this welding is not continuous, so it is not, ये एयर टाइट और वाटरप्रूफ नहीं है, because it is discontinuous in nature. If you want to make it airtight and waterproof, then this welding has to be continuously done on these two objects like this. So if the welding is done continuously, if the resistance welding is done continuously, then we call it seam welding. तब हम इसको seam welding कहते हैं. और seam welding में actually electrodes इस form में नहीं होते हैं because it's a continuous welding. So if you look at seam welding setup, it is something like this. Electrodes जो हैं वो wheels के form में होते हैं. So when the wheels turn in opposite direction, automatically these sheet pieces, they are drawn in this direction. And when current continuously flows through these electrodes, continuously current flow होता रहता है, sheet आगे बढ़ती रहती है, weld होते होते sheet आगे बढ़ती रहती है, जैसे जैसे आगे जाती है. Pressure, because depending upon the gap between these two wheels, the pressure is applied, the force is applied on them, and इस तरह से welding permanent joint एक generate होता रहता है इन दोनों sheets के contact में. So this is what is seam welding. Now third type of welding is butt welding. Butt welding suppose we want to join the ends of two pipes, दो pipes हैं, उनके ends को हम join करना चाहते हैं. We want to join the ends of these two pipes. Then if you join from here, if the joint is made here, ये end पे अगर joint बनाते हैं resistance welding के through, they are brought in contact and then current is passed through and then their pressure force is applied in these two directions. So these two directions. So the two ends of the pipe will join, a airtight and waterproof joint will be made. This type of welding is called butt welding. ये पाइप्स के लिए भी रॉड्स भी ज्वाइंट हो सकती है और पाइप्स भी इससे ज्वाइंट किए जा सकते हैं. The last one is, जो लास्ट वन है, that is projection welding, resistance projection welding. इसमें क्या होता है, इफ यू लुक एट दीज टू शीट, ये जो दो पार्ट्स हैं, इसको अगर आप देखेंगे तो देखेंगे नीचे वाला पार्ट इज प्लेन, इट्स प्लेन शीट. बट इफ यू लुक एट द अपर पार्ट, इट हैज गॉट सम प्रोजेक्शंस, अपर पार्ट में कुछ प्रोजेक्शंस है. सो अब अगर आप इन दोनों को ज्वाइन करना चाहें तो वी कैन नॉट हैव एनी अदर टाइप ऑफ वेल्डिंग बट टू वेल्ड एट दीज पॉइंट्स. इन दो पॉइंट्स पे हम इनको ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. इसके अलावा हम और कोई प्रकार की वेल्डिंग यहाँ नहीं कर सकते. सो ऐसा करने के लिए इलेक्ट्रोड स्पेसिफिकली डिजाइन किया जाता है. नीचे वाले इलेक्ट्रोड को अगर आप देखेंगे इट इज प्लेन, बट अगर आप ऊपर वाला इलेक्ट्रोड देखेंगे तो आप देखेंगे देयर आर टू प्रोजेक्शंस हियर. सो स्पेसिफिकली इलेक्ट्रोड इज टू बी डिजाइन्ड एंड देन करंट फ्लोज थ्रू. देन द प्रोसेस इज सेम एज रेजिस्टेंस वेल्डिंग की तरह ये भी एक प्रोसेस है. तो उसके हिसाब जैसे रेजिस्टेंस वेल्डिंग है वैसे, ओनली डिफरेंस इज ये जो ऊपर वाला इलेक्ट्रोड है इट इज स्पेसिफिकली डिजाइन फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर टाइप ऑफ वर्क पीस. सो this method of welding, resistance welding, is called projection welding. So this ends the topic here. Thank you very much.